It's 7 o'clock. Today's date's October 11th, 2016. Let's get this rolling, please. Recognize groups or individuals. Anybody? No. Input from the public. The number 3, will be postponed. There's no HRBs or DRBs or planning and zoning recommendations, no correspondence. Review of the minutes, if you have that.
Mayor, I've reviewed the minutes. I make a motion to approve the minutes of 9/27/2016.
Motion, second by who? Roland. Second by Roland. Discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Financial report, the council travel and training expense report.
This was recorded based on the municipal order, so this is something new that's available for everyone. Make part of the minutes.
Yep. No first or second readings on ordinances on number 8. Reports from staff and committees, fire department updates. I think Todd, you have the floor, if you don't mind. I skipped over Todd last week, so this is something that happened a couple of weeks ago. I think it's outstanding.
Yeah, I think some of the council members received emails already on it, but the fire department was awarded a grant through the federal government. This was a SAFER grant, which stands for Staffing for Adequate Firefighters and Emergency Responders. This grant was awarded, and it was a total of $633,746, and this will provide a 4-year position for a recruit and retention coordinator for the city. This will also provide gear for 7 firefighters per year, and this will be for their physicals and everything that they need to do to become a firefighter. So this will relieve some of the burden on the city as far as cost with the volunteers, and this further shows that the city, we still need volunteers. Right now we're working with minimum staffing, and those volunteers help supplement our staff that we have now. So volunteers are imperative to our operation, and it's going to be great that we can have that one person who's dedicated to retaining the volunteers that we currently have, but also recruiting new volunteers and getting into the schools and recruiting these young men and women while they're young. And I started when I was 17, and once you get into it when you're young, it kind of gets in your blood, and you want to stay in it. So hopefully this will help for many years to come, even after the 4 years are over, that this grant will continue to be a benefit to the city. This was a no matching grant. We don't have to provide a percentage of that $633,000. It's totally funded by the federal government, and it lasts for 4 years. So if you all have any questions or anything, Keisha.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
What, for the firefighter and the retention coordinator, well, let me start with this. How many volunteers are we short right now?
Well, we can never have enough volunteers. There's not a certain minimum number that we want to have or a maximum number that we want to have. We're always trying to get as many volunteers as possible, because just a regular structure fire, we need at least 15 people on scene, and on staff we only have 4.
Okay.
So the volunteers play a big part of that.
Okay. And for the retention coordinator, what would be like their approximate salary?
I think
Do you have an idea for that?
we looked at $32,000 a year, and then cost, of course, the cost of living was included in that, and that includes their salary and benefits and insurance. So all that cost was included in their benefits package as far as for that one person.
That's all right.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
You indicated that grant is for 4 years, so after the 4-year end, the city would have to, how many firefighters is that grant for?
Right now we're approved for 17, and we only have 16 that are staffed right now. So the recruitment retention coordinator will fill that one open position that we have. So there's no need to go through approval to provide another position through the council, because we already have an open position.
So after 4 years, the city would have to fund those other fund the firefighters that grant, you plan for that grant, right?
Well, the city has always funded volunteers, so it would be no different than what we've always done. As far as the position itself, it would be up to the city if they wanted to continue to fund that position. I mean, it's a position that has already been approved and that we just haven't filled. So y'all have approved 17 positions, and that's what we'll be working with. Yes, sir, Mr. Hay.
You wrote the grant.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my hat's off to you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
That's a hell of a job. You've already answered the question, I guess, so it's already a position. So this 53 grand you're showing here, that's going to be paid for out of the grant.
Yes, sir.
But it's an existing position with classification and compensation plan. So at the end of 4 years, essentially, if that person, this person will be a firefighter as well?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So that person would just stay on because it's an existing position, and then the salary would roll back over to the city because it's a good position.
Yeah, and that would be a great selling point for whoever we're trying to hire in that position. That this wouldn't just be, because it would be hard to recruit someone to be in that position that's only going to last for 4 years. But being that it's already an approved position, we could use that as a selling point.
So, but the classification compensation, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here, but it covers a firefighter. Now, this person's going to have additional responsibilities.
Yes.
Do we need to enhance that?
There will be an additional,
description?
yes, sir. There'll be another job description. Chief Walker's been working on that. A new job description will come out for you all's approval on that. So, but it'll be just like a firefighter / recruit retention coordinator, as other duties that assign, things like that. You're welcome.
I don't want anybody to get confused here. It isn't like at the end of this year, this grant, that the city's going to have to come up with $633,000. That is, no, we're not. So, and the firefighters that this is going to train, if you keep them or if you don't, they'll, what is it, 450 hours of training to be a firefighter?
400 hours of kind of full-time firefighter.
And then if it does, and those guys are trained, they'll have the credentials pretty much go anywhere they want to go. So don't get that, in 4 years, we're going to have to come up with another $633,000. That's not right. Is that okay? Moving on. Code enforcement meeting minutes, that's just for your review. It's number 9C, which is a passing order for a three-way stop at First and John Fitch. It has been brought to Larry and I's attention on that. It's a lot of buses, a lot of children. Larry and I we went and looked at it. He's probably looked at it more than I have, but Larry, you have the floor.
Yeah, we recommend that we put a three-way stop, and the lower street is a crowded street, and somebody would paint a stop on that just to remind them, but it's not a very good place to throw the stop sign for that, but we'll paint a little bar there, stop bar, and anyhow, just would like to get a resolution to put that sign up, or those three signs up.
We're talking about Ken's house?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All right. Need a motion for
Yes,
this?
sir.
I make a motion that we install a three-way stop on, I don't know what that exact address. A three-way stop on First and John Fitch.
First and East John Fitch.
First and East John Fitch Avenue, correct?
Second by Mike. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you, guys. Unfinished business, the M2016 social media policy. We're gonna postpone it for right now. We're gonna have a meeting on it on the November 2nd. Is
Yes,
that right?
management meeting.
Yeah.
I've had a chance to hear from some of the management, but the mayor felt that hopefully if we get everyone together during our monthly management meetings, that it might be a chance to discuss a little bit further. So I did make the changes that were given to me by one of the department heads, especially in regard to the IT portion of it, and those are reflected in the attachment, but I'm sure there'll be more to come.
All Right, donation request, and that's county grief support. Oh, nothing on that. Skip that. No new business. City council members' comments.
Yeah, I have a comment. As a council member and safety committee member, Mayor, I'm kind of disappointed. I have been questioned out in the community residents about applications on this new police chief, and I don't know what's going on. I mean, could you fill me in on what's going on? They questioned me out of the street or something about there has been 30 applications and blah, blah, this. Would you fill us in? The council member should know it first before he gets out in the streets. I'm very disappointed to be a council member and on the safety committee.
Well,
Mayor, I mean, fill me in. I mean, it's been publicized, and I heard that you had an interview with some radio station. City council members should have first-hand information first.
okay. City Hall is open from 8 to 4, and I'm usually there 2 hours afterwards. And, you know, you really need to stop in and see me.
I don't need to stop in. Why in the hell? Why did you make an interview, Mayor? And when you don't even tell the council member? I'm not gonna go back behind closed door and discuss no city business. We're gonna discuss it in open. But like I said, this has been going on. It's been going on for 2 years. Out in the community, residents is questioning me, and I'm a city council member dumbfounded, don't know what in the hell going on.
Ron, can we announce the meeting that's been selected?
Yes, there's going to be Councilman Liddy, and there's going to be a meeting. There was supposed to be one today, but everybody couldn't get their schedules worked out. We were going to meet at 3, but we're going to meet Thursday morning at 9 o'clock. We all have the applications. I'm not at liberty to say how many they are. Okay.
And that's what we'll get at. You know, you can't discuss employment matters out in the public. And you know, there was a process that we were doing to hire this new chief, and that's just what it is.
Let me ask you,
That meeting's going to take place in the mayor's council chamber.
No, we switched it to here.
Oh,
let
sweet.
me ask you a
The
question.
media would like to attend, and so we
Okay.
have here.
All right.
Let me ask you a question. Since you're on the committee, I have served on the committee before, and this is a new process. This new process, once you're gonna have 3, once the committee compile all the information, go through the resumes and whatever, you're gonna have 3 applications that you're gonna recommend to the mayor?
We're going to talk about, according to the agenda, I looked at it, we're going to talk about that process on Thursday,
Right.
as far as how many we'll eliminate, things of that nature. And then how many will be forwarded to the mayor with our recommendation.
And my other question, is it gonna be open? Once you make that recommendation, is it gonna be open? The meeting will be open?
Yeah, it's my understanding the media is going to be here, so.
But once you once you go through the application, you pick out 3, and that will be open.
You know, what they're gonna do is they're gonna sit and discuss the applications, okay? And then they're gonna probably start in the interview process, and then after they do this interview process, they're gonna give me 3 applicants to choose from.
Right.
I have the right to choose from those 3 that the board sees fit for me to. Or I can not choose any of those 3 and do something else or start the process all over.
Okay.
So, because they have to have backgrounds done on them, just
Right.
because you
Understand.
say something on paper, it doesn't actually
I've
mean true.
served on the committee, and my other question, you indicated, once you review them, you may not approve video, so you gonna send them, go back to the committee, they be back to day 1, right? I mean, what's the next step? If you do not approve the 3 applications that is recommended,
I'll only pick 1 to be chief. But then those have to have backgrounds. And
Sure, I
if they-
understand.
And if they don't pass the background or there's something that's questionable, then we gotta go back to square 1.
Okay. I have something. Larry, I had called in about, on South 4th Street, coming off the hill from Heaven Hill. It's really dark down there. And some of the residents, the Rogers, Lintons, had contacted me in reference to lighting down there. And so I was wondering if we had created the work order or if they had already completed the work. They were requesting, one of the lights are out down there, and because we blacktop down there, it makes it even darker. They were asking if that light could be replaced, the bulb be replaced, and then another light be put on there. I believe it's 407, 409, and 411.
So lights out and they want to add a light.
Right,
That's what you're saying.
right. They had,
We'll take a look at it.
okay, I had called, but I didn't know, I didn't call back to check and see what the status was. And then I have another thing here. Councilman, I would like to talk about public safety. We do not have peace officers, is that correct? Is that?
It'll work.
Okay. So recently, there was a stop made here in town, and I was called.
He's a sworn officer in another jurisdiction.
Right.
It falls under KRS 15520, and I don't think it needs to be discussed without legal.
Well, I wasn't mentioning any names, but I was told it was out of jurisdiction.
No, he's a sworn officer in another jurisdiction.
Yes.
And
Another county.
There's nothing to do about it.
Well, if he's going through any discipline, it doesn't, first of all, it doesn't have nothing to do with the council or this administration or the city of Bardstown.
Well, I was speaking in reference to public safety because
Right, But
we
can't discuss that.
Well, that's fine. I'll talk about public safety, period. Because as a woman driving down the road, I would not know if someone were trying to stop me who didn't have a police car and was flashing their headlights and throws out a badge. You know, I wouldn't know that. And I think I think that's fair. I think we need to inform the public, you know, what the difference is, because, you know, I was blatantly told there was no jurisdiction for that in Nelson County. But if someone flashes me with their headlights and puts a badge out, and I don't see a cop car, I mean, I would probably keep going till I got to a police station or somewhere where there were a lot of people. That would frighten me. And that's all I'm saying, is that I think we need to know what the difference is, know if there is a jurisdiction. I was specifically told that they didn't have jurisdiction here. So
That person should file a complaint with that individual supervisor or something on that order.
There's also,
We have no control over it.
there's also, that would be an opportunity for Captain Mattingly or somebody on the staff to maybe even use the Facebook page. That might be an appropriate use of the Facebook page to put out there are criteria. There are things, you know, I've told my wife various things. If you don't think it's a police officer, you question it, you stop, you roll down the window a crack and say, I want a uniformed officer in a patrol car. And that's your right to do that, to request that, or request a supervisor, or ask for an escort to the nearest police station.
Right.
That's what I've told her. Now, I don't know if that's the proper procedure or not, but that would be the opportunity for, I think it'd be an opportunity for the Captain Mattingly to put something out to say, you know, here's what we recommend as a police department for public safety for our residents, that if you're not familiar with it, or it looks, you know, because there are people, you can buy badges.
Oh, yes, I mean, Elizabeth
I
Town
agree
just
with what
went
you're
through
saying.
something, you know?
Don't get me wrong, I agree
That's what scared
100%.
me.
And that's a good idea to put it on Facebook and inform them that if they don't have proper blue lights, or if you have a second thought, then go to someplace lighted, go to a business. And nobody will slight you if it's a police officer, no one will slight you for that.
If it's proper, yeah.
But, yeah.
Now, in terms of if there's a specific instance, which by the way, I'm just not familiar with, but if there's a specific incident, and that person is a sworn officer, then they do have 15.520 rights. A complaint would need to be made through their agency, and pursued through their agency so that it can be done properly. So that person's rights are protected, you know, but I think as a general matter, that is something perhaps that Captain Mattingly could, or someone on staff could address. I think that's appropriate.
Well, compliance was made, you know, it scared me as a resident of Bardstown, and being a woman driving down the road and, you know, that happened to you. So I think that would be something that we would need to, you know, let people know of, because the time that we're in right now, I mean, that could have been an ugly stop, you know. So, and they were, you know, they called into the Bardstown Dispatch Center. So I think that that's something that needs to be discussed. And then lastly, Bill, you're on the safety committee,
Yes, ma'am.
and you was an officer as well. How are we doing inventory with things that we have at the police department?
Pertaining to what? Seizures, stolen property?
Stolen property that's been apprehended, what have you?
Go and tagged and run through the Lincoln CIC.
Okay.
Stored.
Well, recently, a young man or a man called in to report that he found his trailer stolen at Lowe's. And it was being hauled by a task force vehicle. And so I received a lot of phone calls about this, and just people wanting some answers about it because it was one of our people. So do we have a procedure to know that the inventory is
That
there?
property-
You have a meeting scheduled for tomorrow.
Yeah, I've scheduled about that tomorrow.
Okay.
It's administrative. It wasn't not reported stolen, so it was found property, so it doesn't fall within the classification of stolen property because it wasn't stolen at the time. The man recognized his trailer, he had not reported stolen, and he was glad that we found it.
Okay. But we were hauling it with a task force vehicle.
Just use the trailer. It wasn't city property.
Right.
The committee meeting that is it a committee meeting?
Safety committee meeting was March.
Yeah, before we kind of debate what that is, I think we should probably let it go through the committee, report back, and then if there's discussion, because I'd hate to think that we were kind of pre-deciding something that's going to go to a committee.
True.
There's
But hold
other
that-
information that not privy to that needs to be told. So, and really, to be honest with you, this is city business here, and it's not open for debate on this issue right here.
Well, at least not yet.
Right, exactly. Right.
And lastly, the Kentucky League of Cities Conference was last week, and many of us attended, and it was very beneficial. The speakers and the information received, so that was a benefit to all of us that attended. So.
All right, let's move on.
Is there other council?
Oh, anybody else? I'm out of breath. New business? Oh, I'm sorry. Cemetery deeds. Russell and Charlotte Grundy, Robin Linton, James C. Linton, J.R. Breeding, transfer only. Donna Rivette, transfer only, and Barbie Banks. And it's okay by unanimous consent, we'll approve those. Thank you. And announcements, no formal appeal for October the 25th City Council regarding the demolish of 118 East Stephen Foster, and 15, Mr. Jones. There you go.
Somebody-
No, you can do my-
Yeah, somebody got a motion.
Somebody get a motion.
I'll second.
I was helping Barbie.
No.
Yeah.